All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening, everybody? Hope your day is blessed. A beautiful Friday, and it's just good to be here, good to be alive. And we've just been messing around in the lab today, recording a little of this, messing with a little of that. So we decided to jump on and do a quick training here. Just coming up with, we've been trying to find just something for leaders and soon to be leaders. Because one thing I recognize is that some folks don't even realize their purpose yet. Sometimes you got to see it first before you can recognize that you want to be that. You got to be exposed to it first. And I think a lot of that is going to happen, guys. I've seen it happen before. And it's just so exciting to be in a position to help people realize their passions in life. I mean, I think that is the ultimate, because life is so short, and a lot of folks unfortunately pass away without ever truly realizing their why in life, and that's something I've been studying and really, pondering on for myself, because sometimes you get to thinking about it and you just say, I know it all, I need some money. Well, that's vague, and that's true because money definitely satisfies all things, but I think we can go further and deeper than that once we truly define our why. And it's one of those things that sometimes it can elude you, if you know what I mean. It can be ambiguous. It's not always clearly defined. I mean, I know we say write down our goals, but what's your real purpose for that? What's your why? And I really like that our CEO here at SHG has put forth an amazing why for himself and, of course, for the company as a group in this opportunity to help 1 million+ families become, debt-free and financially abundant. I'm not gonna never forget that, because that's serious. Because the thing is, it's not so much the 1 million+, it's all the families that are gonna be influenced because of it, in a positive way. And that can turn into tens of millions of people being touched by what we do. And when you think about it, that's what it's all about, is leaving a real legacy behind where we influence and have a part in influencing a lot of people's lives to the betterment, this generation and generations to come. And that's why we got to take this thing serious. And I believe when you can define that, you can move into action even when you don't feel like it, even when you're afraid, even when people are doubting you. You can still move forward because now you have purpose. And I think that's the whole key, that sometimes if you're not careful, we can be lured out of purpose, no purpose whatsoever, just to go pay bills. And guess what? That's what ends up happening to most people. They just pay bills their whole life because that's all they focus on. At some point, you got to stop. And it reminds me of the movie The Matrix, when Neo was, he stopped and said, something's wrong here. This don't seem right. And then they saw that he was starting to figure it out, and then they tried to get rid of him because now they know you're dangerous. And hey, that's an interesting movie, right? But hey, it's all good because we have a lot of people to touch and help. Already, 500, 500 folks are on board, and our first month ends midnight tomorrow. So, well, not in the morning, but Sunday. So guys, you have done an incredible job building this team so far. I mean, we have help from our partners above as well, because they see the vision of where we're going. And it's just, it's a blessing. It's really a blessing. So let's dive in here and really look at, I want to define a 9-week game plan. Okay, because sometimes we can go too far and it just becomes like common, like every company shows a year plan, and we're not, guys, we're not really showing that here. I like our 16-week. That's 4 months. 4 months. Most companies usually talk about it in a year, 2 years. We're talking about 4 months of being a millionaire, right? Generating millions of dollars with this little bitty SHG program. that a lot of people are going to take for granted because they don't understand what's really behind the curtain. They don't understand that numbers are the key to all of this stuff. It's all a numbers game, okay? Period. And so it just depends on, how well you play the game really dictates your success or failure in the game. So when you look at this, guys, we like to cover the action steps because I think you got to get into action in order to make any plan work. You can't just be talking. You got to get into action. And so the first thing is sign up, join. The second thing is, go ahead and take advantage of the service, one of the key services, which is the savings plan, if you can. Some people in other countries can't. And so you skip that one. But you can start getting familiar with the travel portal. That's what I would do. If I'm in a country abroad and you can't, take advantage of the savings and things like that, as far as the other services, I would jump right on the travel and start looking at it, getting familiar, comparing rates, potentially things like that. And one of the things there is our weekly stays. They are dynamite. Okay, because that's the time when you travel, it's like, okay, where are we going to stay? That a lot of times takes up a lot of the money, because nobody wants to stay in no, hole in the wall per se. We want a nice location. And so that's where we dominate, those week stays. And I think we're going to need them because people are going to make the kind of money where they can go and saddle up for weeks at a time, building their business, vacationing, all that. But you got to set your business goals. This goes hand in hand with your why. If you don't define your why, your business goals are just numbers. I'm telling you, I won't say meaningless because you can hit them and it does financial good, but are you really serving the purpose? This morning, or excuse me, yesterday, we studied on the power of joy, spiritual joy. And one of the things about spiritual joy is not predicated on what's going on around you when it's real spiritual joy. Now, if it's happiness, that's different because happiness usually is based on circumstances. But when you have that innate joy, that joy that surpasses all understanding, that goes like your why. Your why is your why. It's like your purpose in life. And it could change. It could be here today, 5 years from now, it could be different. But once you define that, you're going to be comfortable in your skin. Let me tell you, ooh, man, you're not going to be all over the place. You're not going to be confused. You're not going to want to just talk to anybody and recruit anybody anymore. You're going to be purpose driven and they're going to know it. You're not going to care who comes or not. No more fear, but you got to define and understand where you're going. Okay. And that's what the goals go hand in hand with. Now, get your contacts together. Who do you know? Again, once you define your purpose and your why, some people you're not even going to want to talk to because they don't line up with where you're going. See, folks get into this type of business, get desperate, act like I just got to sponsor anybody. Nope. You don't get it. You're not acting like a professional. That's what amateurs do. I got a page of folks I won't call. I'm not calling them. They don't look like they go in my direction. And I know sometimes we got to be careful with prejudging, but I know, folks, not calling. Nope. Not even gonna try it. I'll let them call me. It's not being arrogant. It's just who I want to work with. And that's the beautiful thing about this business. You can choose. We have the power to choose. You got to set aside consistent time. And that's going to be easy once you define your why. See, all of this stuff will fall into place when you decide what you want to do. What is your purpose? See, people trying to figure out how so much because they just want a quick fix. Nope. Won't last. You got to define your why, your purpose, because that's going to drive you to do whatever it takes because you know where you're going. You can go ahead and go 85 miles an hour and get away with it because you know where you're headed. Hard to do that when you've never been on this road before. I wouldn't do that. Not smart. Okay. It's not smart. And so that's the thing. You got to set aside some consistent time, some minutes and some hours. That'll form your days, your months, your weeks, your years. People try to talk in years without talking in minutes and hours. You're fooling yourself. Unless you've already dictated your plan of what those minutes and hours are going to lay out to. But most people are not doing that. They're just talking. They're just hoping. You don't hope your way to the top. You work your way to the top. Okay? And time becomes your friend because all it's going to do is promote you. Plug into the events daily. But I don't have to worry. Once you define your why, now, if you're just hanging by a string, doing anything that feels good to you, you're going to do whatever anyway. But once you sit down and figure out your why, you may have to get some help. You may have to get with a workout partner or a significant other or somebody close to you to help you with that. Because sometimes we don't see ourselves. That's why I say lean not to thy own understanding. We might see ourselves differently than reality is saying. So you may have to get some help. Don't let your ego get in the way. Put it down. It's important. It's important. Okay? Go manager ASAP. But I think you should look at 3 to 10 people that you feel are qualified and that are serious enough to take on this business just like they owned a McDonald's or any other business. Okay? Any other regular business. You got to cut out the hanky-panky if you want to get real results. You know, you got to stop playing all the games and let's get real in business. Let's focus daily and go ahead and get this thing done. Okay? And of course, we know what the schedules are. We have a Zoom tonight at 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern. Tonight and tomorrow night. And I can't wait. You know, it's almost like, man, but we give this free time on the weekend for teams to work with their teams. Because it's all about leadership and partnership. So that weekend time is to be used for people to get with their teams because it's all about breeding new leaders. And here in the next couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing new presenters hit the scene because we got a ton of talented people. We just kicked it off. That's it. There's no ego here at all. I can't wait to sit back with my notepad and guests on. And I'm promoting the call just like I'm a regular rep too. That's fair. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody's kind words about the presentation, but we just wanted to set a standard and see now with technology, we can do the things today we used to couldn't do. We can create duplication via Zoom now. You see what I'm saying? Because now everybody can plug in and no matter where you are in the world. See, this time like this has never been before. For the masses anyway, it wasn't affordable. Now with technology, the internet and things like that, you know, now it's so affordable, it's crazy. So we're still coming into our own as far as this information age, this idea age that we live in now. Okay? And that's the truth. And so you got to see your business, folks, in numbers. And the crazy thing about it, you know, it's kind of like that story of a penny doubled every day for 30 to 31 days. If you ask the average person, how much money do you think you'd have if you doubled a penny every day for 30 days? They'd probably tell you about, I think maybe about $100, $200. Ask people that question and see where they at. See if they truly understand geometric progression. Because that's the part that builds wealth here, guys. Okay? Because what happens is it stays pretty much flat for the first 23, 24 days. But around that 25th day, that thing turn up. You know how the young folks say how you turn up? That's when that thing turn up, man. Around that 25th day. But you got to be disciplined. You got to, you know, people going to talk about you. They're going to think you crazy. What are you doing? Even people right close to you might start, you know, questioning what you're doing. But around that 29th day, 28th day, they ain't going to be questioning you. They're going to be thanking God for you. See, that's the part that people don't know because they haven't stuck around long enough. Or maybe you just haven't had the good fortune of being in the right system. I've been blessed where I've been in the wrong system and the right system to see the difference. See, because I know being in the wrong system, it'll flat out aggravate you. It'll have you want to grab hold of somebody. You know what I mean? Right? I've been there several times, but I've also been very blessed to be at the right place at the right time with the right system. And it's almost magical. When they say night and day, yes. And that's what people are already experiencing here just in the first 30 days. And that's what makes this powerful. I can't see you guys if you're online. Hello, everybody. Great to have you on. For those of you plugged in, appreciate you. It'll be recorded here. So, hey, people can come and check it out later. All right. But I really want to get this across. These things have been kind of coming at me heavy, you know, from a spiritual standpoint, because I know if we lay the groundwork solid, it's going to be a wrap. I'm talking about we now can help this industry realize its true potential with this new technology age we're in. Some people are tapping on it. There are some guys that are tapping on the door of it, but we now have the real opportunity to blow the doors off and to really become the #1 company in this whole space. We do. And I know we're going to have haters along the way. And that's where, you know, the man upstairs provides, you know, security. We're not going to be fearful. We're going to move in faith. We're going to move in faith, not fear. Now, what happens is around that 28th day, you can't mess with it. Because if you mess with it, that's all you got right there. You stop, you get tired. That's why you got to drive through. See, people start making a little money. They start, it's harder actually to maintain the discipline once you start making good money than when you weren't. Because when you're not, people keep grinding. They keep going for it, But when you start making 30 or 40,000 a month, it get hard to stay disciplined. You're not as hungry anymore. That's like after you watch some of these athletic teams, you know, sports. Once they win a Super Bowl or a championship, it takes a special team to come back and repeat. I remember them old boys back in the day, man. I couldn't stand them then, you know, and the Cowboys. But boy, let me tell you, they put a squad together and they were trying to win a bunch of them. It just so happened the owner messed it up. He messed up the dynasty, but boy, listen, they would have won a few of them. Trust me, because them boys were winners. They were hungry. Even after they won 2, they were still hungry to get some more. And I said, man, it's just, hey, you know, but when you mess with the leadership, you know, that created it, you start thinking you did it. That's where the problem comes in. But anyway, we ain't gonna mess with that. But that's the thing, guys. You let that focus stay in there. You stay humble. You stay plugged in. For how long? For as long as it takes. Well, how long are you talking about it? Because you can always reward yourself. Buy your new watch. Buy your new car. You know, buy your new house. You know, go invest and grow your money 10,000 every other week a day. Those are celebration wins. Bless a church family. Bless a family. Bless something, a nonprofit, right? But what you do is stay focused, stay plugged in. And if you start giving, what I found out is it'll keep you humble. It'll keep you solid. And not giving to be heard or seen, but giving behind the scenes. You know, a lot of times these billionaires give, we don't even know. You know, unless the media just happen to get wind of it, then they blow it up. But a lot of times we don't even know. That's why they where they at. You understand that? Now, not all of them. Some of them make a big deal out of it, right? I ain't gonna call no names, but 31 days, you go from 5 million to 10 million. And the reason I want to show you this to show you how that, you know, you got $5 million. You've done the job. But if you stay in there, if you stay, you double it. It goes from 5 to 10, almost 11 million in one day. That's the effort. that you don't want to let get away from. Okay. And that's why, they asked Disney, it's like, why do you go to work every day? You're a millionaire back then. Of course, now that would be like billionaire, right? Walt Disney. And he was saying, it's my dream. It's my passion. It's not work to me. They said he went to his desk every day, 9 to 5, just like anybody else. Isn't that something? Now, I'm sure he had the house and all that stuff, the travel and the fame and all that. But when it comes to work ethic, you got to have it. People think you get rich and lay down. You're going to die early. You're going to mess around and die early because God charged us that we got to work by the sweat of our brow. That don't mean a job, but you need to stay busy. You need to stay in the game. Otherwise you find yourself getting into mischief and problems. And now, you lose it all anyway. So that's the key, is keeping the pedal to the metal. We're going to go all the way. Be prepared to go all the way. Now, we know that one of the big parts of the plan is the residual income. And that's what's going to take care of you after a while. The residual will take over. That bonus money is great. And it's some of the best I've seen. But what's going to really take you over the hump is that residual income. And you got to have at least 2 active referrals to activate it. But we really want to think in terms of 3 on this team. We want to think in terms of at least 3, because 2 don't activate the code. And so if you don't help people get the full deal, I mean, they're being kind of shortcut. And it's like, you letting your child skip school. You're not going to do that. That's not good for them. That's going to hurt them. And that's the same thing here. Sure, hurry up and get it. We make it a big deal. We praise progress. But you also want to make sure that the goal is set for 3, not 2. How quick can we get 3 people on board here? Okay. Now you at least activate 1 open line code and we can keep it moving. Okay. Now, here's the thing, guys. When you really start to understand the power of duplication, let's see, I want to just kind of go over some numbers that we've been playing around with here today. And I tell you, this thing here, guys, is one of the best I've seen in my 30 years almost, for real. And it's not just me saying it, but a lot of folks are saying the same thing. People who've, own multi-million-dollar companies. And that's the real deal. And so we're totally excited. Look like I've misplaced my sheet here. This is, hold on, guys. I got so wrapped up in putting the PowerPoint training together, I think I misplaced the slides, the training. But it's pretty simple what we're going to cover. I just want to get the full numbers here. When you start getting in the lab, boy, I tell you, man, that excitement, it'll wear you out. It really will. I got percentages, and if we do this and how many people get promoted, how many folks going to Hawaii, to Puerto Rico, right? All of that. I think this is it right here. Yeah. So let's look at this thing here. 9 weeks. What are we looking at? 9 times 7 is 63. Okay. So 63. So we say, let's pull it up. Hopefully this thing will write for me. I don't know. It may not. Nope. So your first 7 days, 14, 21, 28, 35. Let's see, 42, 49, 56. So actually, let's see, 3, that's 8, isn't it? There's one more in there. So we'll put that other one in there. But for just to say, for Puerto Rico's sake, about 55 days away, this will be a great plan. And I like it because we can hold folks accountable to really, making it happen in a big way. Okay. Because we can control what we do. Obviously, we can't control what other people do. We're getting privy to training that they haven't gotten yet. So we're already going 50 miles an hour. They still at 5. Yeah, they're excited. They're ready to go. But information wise, they're going 5 miles per hour. Okay, you at 50. So we got to get them up to speed so that now they can realize the full potential and take advantage of their time right away. And that's usually the difference of people who have a great first 30 days and people who don't. It's the learning curve. And I've just been doing it so long, I can adapt pretty quick. But I know that's not the same for everybody. Me and one of our partners were talking about that today. It's talking about the IQ level. And, of course, we talk about the I quit, but the IQ meaning actually the IQ of this business, knowing what you know. So most folks come in, unconsciously incompetent because they don't know what they don't know. They have to learn what they don't know. And once they learn what they don't know, now they got to learn it. You know what I'm saying? So it is a speed, but that's where, being coachable is so important because it helps people cut down their learning curve. And I talked to, between the CEO and a lot of the key people, we were on the phone for like 3 days, all day, just talking. What about this? How does this work? Because I know I'm unconsciously incompetent. Even though I've been in the industry a long time, I haven't been in this business a long time. Okay. So here's the thing. So we want to start off with 5 partners. Okay. You start off with 5 because you can control you. I know I'm stretching you a little bit. I know I said manager, but we're going to push you to director. Once you get your why right, now you can match your why with what we're doing. And see, once you get your why right, this going to make all the sense in the world anyway, because you're trying to get somewhere. Okay. So 5, but yet let's assume everybody else, they don't get it. They just do 3. They just hit manager, but you go director. Okay. You go director, but everybody else don't get it. They just going to go manager. So what that means is let's look at the sheer numbers of duplication, because that's the key to business. So 5 times 3, your 5 each get 3, that's 15. Those 15 each get 3, that's 45. Those 45 get 3, that's 135. Those 135 get 3, that's what, 405. Those 405 get 3, that's 1215. Those 1215 get 3, that's what, 3645. Look at your team go. And everybody else getting 3 in a week, and you got 5. 3645, they get 3, that's 10,935. Okay. And so we'll stop right there, but actually it's one more week in there if we go with the full 9 weeks. Okay, it's one more week in there. This is on an 8-week plane here. Is that right? Yeah, this 8 weeks. So it's one more week we have to spare, and we'll use that week to just clean up, to make sure, to do the recounts and all that stuff. So you start off with 5 here. And remember, the first 2 are not coded to you, everybody after that. Now, don't start playing games with the code. Recruit who you recruit first. Don't start trying to, well, let me just throw anybody in here in the first 2. That's going to come back to hunt everybody. Just build. And as long as you're building properly, because that's when you start building out of fear. Okay? That's when you start building out of fear. Say, no, Mr. Ballard, I'm building smart. No, you're not. Because by doing that to your sponsor, what if everybody did it to you? It would be a mess. So no, you're not. Okay? I sponsor who I sponsor, period. Just get in. All right? And that's what you want. Okay? So just sponsor, because you're going to have way more open codes than just 2. We give up 2 to get all the rest. That's what you got to remember. Some people don't understand that because they're so selfish, they don't get it. And that's unfortunate. All right. So you give up the first 2 with excellence, and then you can get 100 more, all yours. Okay. So it'll more than make up for any 2 stars that you brought on. Okay. Now, the thing is, when we look at the code money first, okay, the coded money, let me get rid of this little box. These guys are going to bring their first 2 here. So that's 6. Okay. So the first week is your personals. So let's say 3 platinums, 2 golds. Okay. So that's 150, 170. So you got 170 bucks. All right. 170. Okay. Now, so you got 6 people there. That's 6 times. Let's just assume that people are bringing on what? Platinums? Let's look at the platinum first, okay? Because we can just subtract on the gold. So if they bring in 6 platinums, well, we'll just start with golds. 6 golds, you're gonna get 60 bucks right there, okay? So that's $60 because that's 6 codes, 60 bucks. All right, so we'll throw that in there. And then those 6 each get 2, that's 12. Those 12 each get 2, that's 24. 24, 48. Okay, 96. What is that? 12, 180, 192. And what's that? 16 short of 400. What is that? 384. 384. Yeah. So I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, because the last one is yours. So basically, when you look at this, helping them make sure that they sponsor, their first 3 or more, but at least 3. Okay, because now they've activated their codes too, remember. But you got, let's see, 12, 18 plus 24 is 42, plus 48 is 90. Okay. Plus 96 is 186, plus 92 is about 378, I think. And then plus 384, what do we got there? What is that? 6, 7, roughly about 800. Where's the calculator? So about 800. All right. So 800 times 10. That's $8,000. Now, if those are platinums, that's times 5. So that's 40 grand. Okay. If they upgrade, you're still getting 40 grand. That's the cool part. Okay. So either way, and if they come in gold and upgrade to platinum, that's 48,000. Right. But still, guys, we're talking about $8,000 in your first 8 weeks. Okay. $8,000 first 8 weeks. And then that's 768 on the next level. So that's another, 7,600. So that'd be about 15,000 if we put all 9 weeks in there. Okay. 15,000 and 75,000 if we go to platinum. So y'all getting that? Okay. So now that's the infrastructure of building, really a multiple 6-figure, 7-figure business right here. And it's just the simple things. We know what our goals are. And so now we break it down even further. How do I recruit 5 people in 7 days? Well, you need to call at least 55, 60 people the right way, with a sense of urgency, okay? You got to put in those numbers too. See, those numbers will give you these numbers, all right? We can't just, draw numbers out of the air with no activity. So, okay, I'm going to sell 1 million records. How? Well, how are they going to even know about it? Where are you going to go and distribute it? Where you advertising at? How folks gonna know? So you got to have some work in order to get to the means, right? And that's what we're saying. And so we take that for granted sometimes, but you got to make about 60 to 100 calls to get 5. And that's what most people don't want to do. But you got to be willing to do what others want to have what others don't. Because otherwise, everybody be rich. Everybody be rich if it was just simple, where I could just make 10 calls and everybody join. Everybody would be rich. Network marketing would be blowed up. You know, it would be. But do you know still majority of folks are not in our industry? That's a wonderful thing. And I believe when they see something this simple, hey man, we putting the pie back in the factory, right? You know, we putting the pie back in, guys, for real. So that's what it's about. Now, when you look at the other side, the residual part, okay, well, let's look at that comes from over here. Remember, your matrix is over here with your 5. All right. So what do we have over here? What kind of residual have we put in here? Well, let's take a look. So, and this is again, 9 weeks, guys. You say, well, how do I go to a multiple 6 figures in 9 weeks? Well, you just saw where you could make upwards of 75,000 just on this effort alone, just in the coded money. Even if you cut it in half, it's still 30 grand. Okay. At the platinum part. And so, but watch this. So let's add up how many folks in there. So we got 65 plus 135 plus 405. I messed that up. Okay. Let's see. All right, plus 1215 plus 3645. Somebody upset. Plus 10,935. Okay, so we got 16,395 folks in the organization now. Okay, no spillover, just you building. I never rely on spillover. I don't care about that. Just build. Just build. If it happens, it happens. So what? If it don't, you're still trying to get your why accomplished. But we're going, oh man, I'm gonna stop because I ain't getting no spillover. Really? Spillover is gravy. It's gravy. Stop looking for a handout. Let's look at a hand up. Let's go. Okay? And if you move fast enough, you're gonna get it anyway. That's just the real thing. So 16,395, okay, is our number. Now, on average, because some of those will be platinum, some of them will be gold. So what do we say? The average is $3. That's the difference of if you take $5 and $1 and divide it by 2, 6, that's $3. Okay? So 3 times 16,395. So that's $49,185 a month. You're at 50 grand, okay? Because actually you're gonna get more on your 5. So that'll probably take you right close to 50,000, but roughly right there, 49,000 a month residual is what you just built in 8 weeks. Now, if we go 9 weeks, that 10,935 goes to 30,000 more people. And so now with 30,000 more people, that's another 90 grand. So now 90,000 plus this 49,000, okay? And remember, that's on average, no guarantees or none of that. But what are we looking at? 139 grand a month. And by the way, you could get paid that in Bitcoin if you like. I tell you, corporate, they're going to be buying a lot of Bitcoin, right? But that's 139 grand. Okay, $139,000. So guys, that's crazy. In 9 weeks, majorly affordable. Okay, very affordable. We don't have to, even if we were looking at $1, you still would be about 40-some thousand, right at 48,000 anyway. If it was if they were all goals, you would still be at about 45,000 a month. That's $500,000 a year in residual income. And with that kind of capital, it's going to give you not only the confidence, but the go with all. In other words, your name will precede you everywhere you go in this business and in this industry, because less than 1% of the people out there make that kind of money in network marketing. So this is what I wanted to share with you guys. How do you get to Puerto Rico in style? Matter of fact, you're not just even getting the basic room. They just sent us the sheet with the suites on it. You're going to be in a suite. You'll be overlooking the ocean. Can you imagine what your social media going to look like from the time you walk in the hotel, you start videoing your room? Man, listen, people are going to be asking you what you doing. See, that's how you advertise on social media. You don't put no posts up talking about looking for people and all that. You just start living your life and let people see what you're doing. They'll call you. Trust me, because they sitting at work in a cubicle. You know, they just got cut. They didn't get their raise they were supposed to get. They didn't get promoted. I'm just telling you. They worried about how they're going to take care of the bills at the house. And again, if that's all we focusing on in life, guess what? That's all we going to get. See, this is changing your focus right here. This is focusing on a much broader spectrum and helping other people as well. And that's why the saying goes, if you help enough people get what they want, you're going to automatically get what you want. That's why Zig Ziglar taught that for years, because he figured it out. He realized it. And that was before social media and, you know, Facebook and Instagram. That was before all that. He was teaching us that back when we hadn't even really thought about a computer. You know, back when computers were $5,000 and $4,000 still. Right? Y'all remember that? You know, they weren't those little ones. It was a big old desktops. You know, you got a laptop, man, that thing looked like a suitcase. So guys, listen, we got to recognize where we are in time as we moved into this information idea age. Now it's people with the right ideas, the right vision, the right concepts, they're going to get rich. See, before it really dealt with resources. You know, how much land did you have? How much land did your family have? That's what made people rich. It wasn't. Now, with a right idea, you could be richer than everybody in your whole family. Everybody who ever knew you, just like that. You see what I'm saying? We got to see the shift, guys. Okay, we're in a different age. We're in a different age. And so we got to take advantage of the age we're in. We got to shift. And things like this, that's why I like it so much, because it's a great shift. It's a little old school and new school, but it's going to propel people to be able to get into, you know, their why and be meaningful to bless other people. I hope that's a part of your why anyway, because I know the man upstairs loves a cheerful giver. And I'm sure that's why folks with a bunch of it start giving it away, because they recognize, see, you may not be able to get you with your money, but all of a sudden stuff start happening with your kids and your family and your health. So you might as well comply and stay on the right side. Some folks just looking to come up. It's, oh, I'm so blessed. There's more to it than that. Dude, you just getting in the game. You just getting in the game. Now it's all about stewardship. Okay. It's about being, you know, having the right mind, being effective to help other people. Because otherwise, a hardy heart come before a fall. Trust me, we've seen it. We've seen it live and in color. We have seen it. So guys, that's what I wanted to share with you. So now it's a matter of going to work. So what do we got? Our first 7 days cut out for us. We know what to do. Our next 7 days, we're helping those people. Okay, we're not steady going this way so much. we're helping those folks. Either way, it's a sacrifice. I'd rather sacrifice to build stability, because that's what depth gives you. Stability width gives you income. But that income is not stable if you don't go down and build solid. So just understand. And the beautiful thing, we're talking about 8 weeks. That's not a lot of time. Then you can go wider than all our doors. Okay? We're not going to get rich quick. We're not. This is a different way of working, obviously. And it's fair. But ain't no get rich quick. But at the same time, we don't have to go slow either, comparative to what it's been. And that's the only difference. Just like from plowing the yard and being in the agricultural age, from the Stone Age, it's a total different thing just from the industrial age. A whole different deal. People start making money a whole different way. Didn't make money evil. It was just a different way. And that's how we are today. We're transitioning into a whole different age, and most people are not paying attention. That's why it seems like they're getting broker and broker, because they don't understand that old way isn't working anymore. And that's why I tell people, even looking at purchasing a McDonald's, the reason why McDonald's was trying to add so much more stuff is because it's technically, and I hate to say this, because I'm not bad, I love McDonald's. I use my kids, right? And I like their filet of fish. Every now and then I lean on a Big Mac, not too often, right? You can't do it too often, but look, you know, it's an outdated model as far as ownership. You know, 40, 50 years ago, it was absolutely the thing. If you owned a McDonald's, you were absolutely on it. The problem is it hadn't kept up financially with the times. So now what an owner at McDonald's is making is not the equivalent of what it used to be. You see what I'm saying? Because it hadn't moved all that much. Because the price of goods has surpassed the potential growth of that one little store. The labor costs, all that stuff is skyrocketed. And so now that depletes from, you know, the bottom line. So it's not the best investment anymore. It's just not. I looked at it real close. I thought about it. It's like, oh no, I won't tie my money up like that. You give them $1 million, some $2 million, and now you're talking about 170, 180,000 a year. Oh no, that's slow. Better than the bank. At 1%, it takes 72 years for your money to double in the bank. But because of technology, once again, we've now learned, and there's new ways have been created to grow your money at a much more rapid rate. Okay? And at the end of the day, gang, that's what it's about. Building enough capital to have enough to invest so we never have to worry about enjoying our life and doing the things. In other words, we don't have to look over our shoulders anymore. We've learned that lesson. Now it's about generating the wealth and moving it on and helping the masses. So guys, that's it. That's my time. We're done. Appreciate you. And hey, let's go to work. We have a 9-week plan to take someone to over 100 grand a month. I just gave it to you. It'll be here. So let's use this thing. Somebody get started, plug them into a 9-week plan to get here. Even if they mess it up by 90%, they're going to be good, because they should be able to fulfill it within the first 6 months to a year. Blessings, everybody.